Hello, I'm Sybil Harmony, and this is a video about how to protect yourself from psychic attack and negative people. So that could also include dealing with narcissists, which is actually a whole video unto itself. And it also could involve people who are here that are just natural healers. So what do I mean by a natural healer? Somebody who's here that's absorbing the energy from the collective unconscious as part of their soul agreement. So in other words, they're a healer, but they may be doing the work unconsciously through soul agreement. And that could mean you're a counselor, a doctor, a therapist, a healer, a nurse, a massage therapist, a Reiki practitioner, or just a really loving, caring mother or parent or father, sibling who wants everyone to be happy and kind of takes on their energy. Okay. But so that can make you feel like you feel sick. There are also things that can make you feel sick and tired, which are toxins or viruses. Okay. So once you've addressed that, cleaning out toxins or viruses, or if you have a trained psychic or healer in front of you who can tell you, okay, here's what we're dealing with, then you can address these issues. Okay. Or maybe you want to vice versa, first address these issues. My first introduction to energy healing was to disconnect from other people who were kind of draining me. I was absorbing their energy unconsciously and always wondered why I never really quite felt right or why I was depressed or angry. First of all, I was healing my mother. So some of the big things are family, religion, and government that we are healing. So it could be if you're around your friends, your family, community, neighbors, coworkers, and you are absorbing negative energy from people who are being negative. Okay. So I'm going to give you some techniques that you can do physically for psychic attack or negative energy. But with people who are sending you, giving you negative energy would be more like they're thinking, they're like negative thoughts towards you. They're being competitive. They're jealous. They talk about negative topics. They're really into drama or, unhealed trauma. So misery loves company. So it might be that you want to set some boundaries with those people and say, I don't want to talk about certain topics. Okay. Because when you talk about something, you animate, you call that energy to you, or even say the name of certain people who have negative energy. And so that can also bring negative energy around you. So, and they may be well-meaning people, but they just don't realize that they're kind of draining. Sometimes the person, and this is a whole nother video, can be like an energy vampire. An energy vampire can consciously be draining your energy. Most of the time, it's unconsciously done through just being very needy or being very controlling. So if you are around people who are very needy or controlling, or maybe you're having your own neediness from you have abandonment issues, or you have parents that you felt unsafe, so you feel like you need to control everything or a lot of things. And so neither one of those are a good relationship space to be in. But back to talking about, if people are talking about things or that are negative, you don't want to talk about. So you can set boundaries with them, or you can choose like, I don't really like hanging out with those people. It doesn't feel good. Or if the neighbor is being, negative, you can kind of put an energy boundary around your house, or kind of just choose to, if you choose to be in your own integrity and your joy and have mercy for other people, then it'll kind of help you to not take on their energy. So it's kind of like walking a fine line of like, how do I have boundaries and how do I set my energy in a really high frequency of health, prosperity, and abundance and going in that direction so that I'm not really matching people when, or in agreement with people when they get into lower energies or that are in lower energies that may be around me. So it's a balance of that. And when you have your heart open, it will energetically protect you and karmically protect you if you have mercy for people who are acting out of sorts, who are acting in ways where they've forgotten who they are, who are in drama or trauma or chaos. So first of all, obviously would be maybe don't hang around with them. If it's your family or your coworkers, or you feel like I don't really want to end my friendships with them, once again, we come back to set boundaries with them. You can set verbal boundaries. You can set time boundaries. And like I said, I'll give you some things that you can do for all of these issues. So it's, staying in your integrity, refusing to get on their level, not getting into gossip or name calling or judgments. And like, you can say that doesn't feel comfortable for me. I don't want to talk about that. Or don't do it yourself. Of just recognize that people are living through their own belief systems, their ways that they've been trained or programmed to interact. And a lot of what people are doing isn't really even who they really are authentically, unless they've done their work. And I'm not talking about pseudo spiritual, like I do yoga and I wear crystals. So, okay, that's great. But that doesn't mean that you've done your inner work, that you've looked at yourself, and that you are, that you've looked at because we all have programming tools, things that we use to kind of help ourselves deal with life here on, with life on life's terms. And you may have developed some things that, some habits that aren't really the best, like shutting off your feelings or manipulating or controlling or being needy or being passive aggressive. There's all kinds of things that we do. So once we get more like okay with ourselves, once we've done our inner work, and we can have boundaries, but we can also have mercy for people who are acting out and not take it personally because they're just acting out of their own wounds, then we're a lot better suited at some point when we've done our awakening process. We're the real work, not just, woke or something, which is fine if you're more aware and woke. But I mean, an actual awakening process where your heart is open, you're in your integrity, truth from a lie, and you're basically more your authentic self. Then then you can actually help people in ways that are wise, but that don't hurt you. In other words, when my grandson was living here a couple years ago, it was really hard for me because there's family wounding, and he was, came in with some issues, and I had to keep going to Source Creator for like, how do I help him in a way that doesn't hurt me? And in a way, even though it was hard for me, but you don't want to let people think that they can be abusive to you. Even if it's a child, he's 17, but even if it's a child or an elderly person, you don't teach people that they can abuse you, and then you're trying to help them. You see what I'm saying? So I had to keep going to Source Creator, keep going to my guides and asking them, okay, how do I do this? Walk me through this. Because it was difficult. It was really hard. When somebody's really wounded and they're lashing out at you because you're the safe person, which is a lot of us sensitive spiritual people, we're the safe person. You helping them by teaching them proper boundaries and respect is the best way. Allowing somebody to yell or name call at you because, they need to let their anger out is not really helping them. They're teaching them, how do you deal with your anger? And let me, like a therapy process session, maybe they need a therapist. But so unless they've asked you for help, also, you don't want to really be helping people or teaching people that some people don't want help. Okay. So we need to be really careful with our time and our resources and how we treat ourselves and have mercy for ourselves as well. Okay. And to me, I keep going to Source Creator for that. So it's really about how do you protect yourself from negative people? You do your own work. And once you do your own work, you're not really attracted to trauma and drama. You can see it a mile away. You can see, wow, that person's really wounded or they're really angry, or and you can even talk to them and listen to them if you choose to do that, and give them a voice or give them, support. Well, it would be more like, well, how can I support you? Or I'm here to listen. How and listen to their pain. I hear your pain. I hear your anger. But that doesn't mean you're taking it on. Okay? So if you're just being a sponge, if you've been abused or had life-threatening illnesses or accidents, your aura, which the main aura is about 2-3 feet around you in every direction, your aura has holes in it. It's porous. It's like a big sponge. You're absorbing everybody's stuff. Okay. So you might feel like, I just need to go live up on a mountain and get away from people. I've known people who've done that, or stay in their apartment or something because they can't be around people. I even like, I can feel energy when I go to the grocery store. I drive through certain towns or areas. I'm like, wow, this energy is not feeling good. So there are places too where you might want to avoid. Bars, places where people use drugs. Hospitals are interesting. They help people. Children are born there. So it's can be wonderful. Also, a lot of people die or in pain or sick there for, its extended stay. I've seen some of the worst energy I've ever seen has been in hospitals. I'm like, yikes. So hospitals, jails, institutions, mental institutions, homes where people have been very sick or died there, certainly where there's a murder or an accident. Alongside the road, I always see spirits walking up and down, or car accidents, or even spirits imprints that are stuck there from years ago. Places, like in my area, the Native Americans were killed. A lot of places in America. They were enslaved. So there's like an imprint of negative energy and sometimes spirits there. And so all of these have energy. And I actually live in a place where a graveyard. I'm kind of near a Native American graveyard, and it's a long story. I've tried to do healings there. I don't go up there anymore out of respect. I help the ones that wanted to help, and the other ones that don't want help, like I'm okay, goodbye. So some places we're not meant to be in. Some places where people are not meant to live in. I've seen that with aliens or all kind of things. I have all kind of stories that, but what you want to do is just pay attention to, how do I feel in this place? Or do I feel like something is wrong? And that's probably not a good place for you. Some places are really energizing and peaceful, or they have like energy vortexes or healing places. And so that's one reason that the beach feels good for people, because it's water. And I'll talk about salt water and salt baths, but the water and the sunshine, or being out in nature, can be really healing and calming to people who are more sensitive. But so what you want to do is open your heart and do your own work. Have mercy and compassion for yourself, and then walk that fine line of boundaries. Like, how do I help these people? And sometimes it's just not for you. It is not your job to make other people's problems they are not your problems. They can't be your problems because they created them so that they could heal them. And they might even get angry at you for some reason if you try to fix them, especially without asking. So you can say, can I support you? Can I help you? Ask if you need something. I'm here, in ways that you can show up that feel right, that feel like real help, not like, in other words, if you give a drug addict, they're hurting, and so you give them money, you're not really helping them. That might be the last dose they ever take that they OD from. So you see what I'm saying? So you might want to get them groceries or get them counseling, or if they want it. Okay. Maybe they, sell the groceries for drugs, trade the, you don't know, or not even care, throw it away because they're not eating, because they're not trying to be healthy. So and then what happened is you lost your boundary. Once you don't have a boundary, you're open to their energy attacks, and they have attachments. So a lot of people who drink a lot and use drugs, or narcissists, abusive people, they have attachments. Most people do have an attachment, but it's not like a full blown possession. They're just like energy attachments. And some people have a lot of minor ones, the ego, just your fear, your mother from a past life or whatever who abused you. You have attachments. Okay. Everyone does. That's part of, until you awaken and clear those, you have attachments. If you are not happy, joyous, and free, and calm, and alignment and balance, you have energy in your space. You probably have some stuff going on. Is that something to be concerned and afraid about? No, it's just part of being human and being unconscious here. That's why we're awakening. Okay. So, and there are other people who, the worse the abuse or the worse the connection is, have real negative energies around them, and can be really harmful to you, either spiritually and or physically. I feel like the spiritual or the emotional is worse. It's kind of like a narcissist. They'll draw you in and then they got you, see? So, so the other one would be like the psychic attack. And the psychic attack is not just like a negative person in negative energy sending you bad thoughts, or tricking you, or being deceptive, or lying, or draining your energy. I mean, that's bad enough. But if somebody is actually psychically attacking you, they're intending or using some type of tools or spell or something that they're going to do something to you. I mean, could that be somebody on the internet that's trolling you or stealing your information? That could be. That's like a financial attack, or stealing your identity. Those are bad too. But those people are also have like lower negative energies around you. So the more fear you have, the more you don't know who you are, and you're not, in balance and alignment with you, the more easily you are controlled by fear. Okay. So if you recognize like, well, that's not real, I'm not buying into all that stuff, that'll do you a huge favor. So use your intention to, I'm letting go of people. Use your breath, use your intention. If they're sending you negative energy, just let it bounce off you. I know people who just like, I'm like, doesn't that affect you? And they're like, no, I just let it bounce off me. It's like, you don't take anything personally. You're not overly concerned, but when you tune into your higher self or source creator, you can connect in with that wisdom and that mercy, but also have really good boundaries. So there's it's not like a simple, easy thing that you figure out when you're two. It takes maturity and development, and that's why you're here growing spiritually. But back to psychic attacks, there you may need some energy tools, or if you're in a long-term relationship with a negative person who's drinking or using alcohol, because remember, they're channeling anybody who's drinking or using alcohol, or even overtaking prescription drugs, is channeling negative entities. So you're dealing with something more than just a person. Okay. And I see the spirit world, so I see it all the time. And that's really where the rubber hits the road, is when we recognize that it's not just the person, because the person, which maybe is only in their body like 20 or 40% or not very much, is really being controlled by the abusive energy that they're channeling and throwing out at other people. Okay. So you're dealing with something maybe more than you realize if it's like a psychic attack. So what are some things you can do for psychic attacks? Well, you can burn sage, white sage. And what you do is you open the windows, and you don't just do one room. You have to do the whole house. And then I like to call in Archangel Michael, who's the spiritual bouncer, the space clear. He'll protect anyone who asks, and, or, you know, whoever you feel comfortable calling to. And then you go around, you light your sage and say, no negativity can be here, only loving spirits may be here. And then go through each room and smoke out. You can smoke out your aura, clean your aura. Okay. And then I always, after I do spiritual work, I always like to play happy, beautiful music, chanting or prayers, things like that. If you're doing a big cleansing, a house where there's been abuse or someone died or someone was ill, and or someone was alone for a long time and sad or depressed, the houses have energy. They have a spirit. Okay, so you may need to get some help if that doesn't work. But, or you may need to smudge regularly once a week until you feel like it's better. Then take a salt bath in a cup or more of sea salt. You can add 20 milliliter borax, and that will clear toxins out of you. If you're in an area where there's no fire, because if they dump fire retardant into the water, you don't want to be using Epsom salts. Epsom salts will relax your muscles. They're detoxifying, but they can also pull toxins into your body. So you need to be somewhere where the water is really clear if you're using Epsom salts. You can also use some really clean oils. So an exorcism bath is sea salt, a cup or more, and then 6 drops of frankincense, myrrh, and sandalwood oil. So you want a clean company that makes a clean oil. I had somebody jump with petroleum in their essential oils, like don't use, has to be a reputable clean oil. Drop it in there, soak for 20 minutes, and then shower and rinse it all off. Another quick shower thing you can do is grab a handful of salt, get wet in the shower, and then just smear it all over you and say a prayer, cleanse me, guides, you know, and let go. Do you want to take a shower at the end, or a bath at the end of every day, so that you're going into dream world in a clean state? It's like you're literally washing away, letting go of the day. Another thing you can do, especially if you're very sensitive, learn to manage your energy, is to meditate or run energy. I teach that in my classes, meditation and running energy and how to clear energy. So that can be really helpful to you. You also want to stay hydrated, take really good care of yourself, making sure you're getting enough rest, eating the right foods, that you're not overindulging in drugs and alcohol or medications or sugar or caffeine and things like that, because that'll throw your energy off too. So we need to stay, you know, really grounded and balanced, especially when we're dealing with people like this. Okay. And also make sure maybe you're the one that's draining people or being controlling, or then you got some other work to do. That's a whole nother video. Okay. So there are also some things you can do with crystals. This is black tourmaline. You can get senilite. You can get citrine. This is amethyst, which literally means sobriety, sober emotions. Okay. So this is a rutilated quartz here. This clears negative energy. It has little lines going through it. I don't know if you can see that in the rutilated quartz. So that's protective stone. You could wear a smaller one. This is Lemurian quartz with, I think it's a jasper there, or a labradorite. So this is a high vibration stone. So a high vibration, when you keep your energy high, when you're in balance and you're in harmony, you're in joy and integrity, you're not going to be connecting with all those low fear energies, because you're just not a match for them. And sometimes crystals can help raise your vibration, or you can do it without that. But so having crystals around. Now, in the ancient times, monks used to dip a piece of yarn in holy water and then wear it under their clothing around their waist. And this was a cure for energy vampires, people who want to drain you. You can mist yourself with holy water. You can make your own holy water. A lot of the holy water in some churches may have had a lot of people's hands in there. So I like getting a bottle, get some purified water, put it out in the sun, and then send good energy into it. or say three prayers once an hour for 3 hours, come out and send good healing energy. So water holds memory. And if you say positive things around water, you can create your own holy water. The water that you drink, the water that you're around, the water that comes in your house. And so that's also a really good purifying, connecting, clearing energy. So those are just some of the things you can do. Now, in our culture in America, we're taught to look people in the eye and shake their hand. When you're touching somebody, you're really connecting with their energy. So I like I believe it's Japanese, you say hello like this, or this is a newer, you can say hello and just send like I'm sending you love. And so when you're sending people love, you're not connecting so much with their negative energy. If you want to shake hands, that's fine. It could show that you're not afraid and you're looking straight in their eye, you're not hiding. But energy moves in a straight line. So if you have somebody who's really dark and negative, a family member or something, you could just say, "Oh, hi, how you doing? Yeah, I'm gonna be going over here. So, all right." So you're not really making that contact because energy moves in a straight line. If you have to go to a family function during the holidays or something, like, oh no, that person is going to be there. Yes, they are. So they're not focusing on you. Bring other people and don't stay in the room alone with them. Don't sit right in front of them because remember, energy moves in a straight line. You might want to sit sideways. You might want to put a purse or a pillow or something in between you. Put a car in between you and them. Take your own car. Don't meet them there. Meet them there. Don't drive with them. And then if you're sitting at the holiday table, sit kitty cornered to them. Don't sit right across. Better to sit side by side from somebody like that. But still, it's better even kitty cornered, or at another table. So, and you don't have to talk to them if you don't want to. And don't share your secrets with people, your dreams and your ideas about things that you're wanting to create that are near and dear to your heart, because people will put their energy in there. Unfortunately, that happens. People get jealous, like, oh, why are you getting to do that? Yeah, I didn't get to do that, or whatever, And so, and if you're doing that to other people, I always say, if a judgment comes up, I'm like, don't let my judgment or about that person hurt that person. And please neutralize that, because you don't want to be doing that, because it creates karma for you. And that really will protect you, is having, clean up your own act, come from a place of integrity, and, ground yourself, do your own work, and you'll be less likely to pick up energy from other people. And that's your awakening process. Okay. All right. So I hope you found this helpful. Please subscribe to my videos. It really helps if, me get my name out there. I have some classes coming up on my website, and my classes coming up in 2024. The end of 2024 is the sutras, these words that clear energy. They're really amazing. That's a really great way to clear negative energy out of your space. And we're going to be doing meditation. So it's very magical. It's really cool. And then in December, I'm going to be teaching about healing with the ancient ones, the wise ones, and the archangels. And they work in tandem with your own guides. And it's, how to receive guidance from them, and have a better relationship with them. So really cool. And I hope you can join us. I also have a once a month, first Monday of the month, Sacred Circle. If you want to ask questions, get a healing, and my students go there. So it's a really cool place to hang out on Zoom. These are all on Zoom. All right. So we'll be seeing you soon, sending lots of love, and take care. Bye.